Great day, sacred souls. Today we're stepping into one of the biggest questions humanity has ever asked. Who is really in control of this world? Is it governments, corporations, wealthy families, ancient bloodlines, unseen forces, or is it something much closer than we think? Today, we're separating myth from reality, fear from fact, and illusion from awareness. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. So I like to have my notes, and I have them here like I always do on my phone. Power structures, right? Power structures. Throughout history, power has always been concentrated in small groups. And what I mean by that is, it's always been cliquish, right? Whether it's been clicked within an empire, banks, corporations, political systems, and media networks, especially political systems and media networks. And we are seeing that now. Certain families and institutions have held influence for generations, not through magic like we think, but through money, information, alliances, land, and the ultimate of the ultimate. And that is resources. And that's coming from my experience as a veteran, a Marine, right? Most wars are not justified. Most wars are to take resources from one land to the next, right? So that is a signification of power, and that's where it lies. Names like Rothschild, Rockefeller, and royal families represent dynasties, not secret gods. Again, I'm going to say that. I'm going to repeat that. It represents dynasties, not separate gods. Families, generations is what this represents. Power structures is what we're talking about, right? This is how power has worked in every civilization, decade, over and over again, right? So power is structured, and it's been structured since the beginning of time. It has been taken over from the people and has been held within these certain groups and cliques. So let's get into part 2. And what are we talking about in section 2? We are talking about Nephilim, Anunnaki, and ancient beings. Now, let's talk about why nearly every ancient civilization tells stories about beings from above. The Sumerians spoke about the Anunnaki. The Hebrews spoke about the Nephilim. The Greeks had Titans and Olympians. Egypt had the Neteru. The Norse had the Asir. Indigenous cultures spoke of star ancestors. Different names, same theme. Just like religion. Sound familiar? Beings who were taller, wiser, more advanced, more connected to the heavens. So why does this story appear everywhere? Let me go back for a second. When they use these terms, taller, are they necessarily speaking of a physical tall being? Are they talking about one who projects great posture with a spine that stands upright? That just came to my mental, so I wanted to share that, because this can be symbolic and metaphor, right? So why does this story appear everywhere? Because early humanity encountered something that felt beyond them. Historically, these were priests, kings, astronomers, engineers, and initiates who understood mathematics, medicine, healing, architecture, and astronomy. To ancient people, this looked supernatural. I mean, now in 2026, this still looks supernatural. So leaders become gods. Spiritually, heaven meant higher awareness. And we just spoke about this in my last video, about it being a mental state, not just the sky, a physical sky. These stories symbolize elevated consciousness. Psychology, exceptional humans became legends. I truly believe that is exactly what happened. You just had wise, elevated beings who then became worship to the average human being. When you speak of the prophets, Isa, who you choose to call Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad and Moses, in most religions, they're worshipped. They're idolized more than anything. And they were humans who just chose to master self, right? So psychology, exceptional humans became legends, gods, and archetypically, these beings represented our highest potential. The god represents creativity. The giant represents imbalance. Oh, that's deep. Oh, that's so deep, because when we speak of the Nephilim, they're imbalanced beings, right? There's supposed to be a mixed bloodline and a mixed DNA of natural human that carries the spark, the natural spark of source, the true creator, and then they embody this jinn, right? They speak of the fallen angel, and it's not a fallen angel, it's a jinn that they speak of. That they share this bloodline with jinn and natural human. The god represents creativity, like I said. The giant represents imbalance, and when you mix the bloodline in that way, it has created a imbalance within the DNA. So the fallen angel represents, as I just said, knowledge without wisdom. But again, let's not use the term angel because it is a jinn. So the fallen jinn represents knowledge without wisdom. These myths are maps of consciousness. Okay, so wow. And I wanna point that out, guys. Excuse me. Anytime that you sneeze, that is a sign of negative energy releasing from your body. I already started my day today, and I have been around several individuals. So as an empath, things like to attach to me, and I'm releasing as I'm in my true element right now, and that is creation as a goddess. So the fallen angel represents knowledge without wisdom. These myths are maps of consciousness. So now we're going to move right along, and we're moving into part 3. 3 levels of human consciousness. So let's talk about this, and let's figure out exactly what this means, right? So we're jumping right into part 3. 3 levels of human consciousness. So nowadays, when you're scrolling through YouTube, you pick up on a lot of videos that are talking about 3 human beings, that there are 3 human beings that are walking amongst this earth at the same time. What does that mean? What does it mean that there are 3 human beings living amongst each other at one time? It's 3 levels of human consciousness. It's 3 levels of human consciousness roaming this earth at the same time. Let's dive deep into those 3 levels of consciousness that make up these 3 human beings, all right? These 3 physical bodies, right? So when they talk about 3 different type of human beings, 3 levels of consciousness, that these 3 beings are on 3 different levels of consciousness, okay? So ancient traditions taught that humans evolve through levels of awareness, right? As they do. Helic, all right? Hylic. Helic, psychic, and then you have pneumatic. These are not races. They are states of consciousness. So those are the 3 levels of consciousness. Those are your 3 different human beings that are walking amongst this earth now. All right? So I'm not sure where you fall. Maybe you'll figure out where you fall after this video, right? So you have Hylic, Helic. Am I saying that correctly? I'm not sure. Hylic. And then you have the psychics. We have a lot of those roaming YouTube. And then we have pneumatics. That's where I fall. I am a pneumatic. You'll soon figure out what that is in a second, right? Again, these are not races. They are states of consciousness, okay? The Helic state. Let's jump right into it. Survival mode. Ooh. 80% of humanity is in the Helic stage right now. The Helic state is ruled by the nervous system. The nervous system rules that state. Life becomes about money, status, fear, comparison, distraction. The brain is always asking, am I safe? Do I belong? Man, am I enough? Most of the world lives here. Like I said, 80 to 90% of people are in this state, in this Helic state. Nervous system imbalance. They are ruled by the nervous system. They are ruled by anything that brings on anxiety or some sort of nervousness. Fear, again, let's go over this again. In this state, life is all about money, status, keeping up with the Joneses, fear, distractions, comparison. Am I as good as my peer over here? Am I as pretty, or am I as thick and voluptuous? This is where most of the world is, right? Am I safe? Do I belong? Am I enough? Let me answer that for you. Yes. Let's take a deep breath here. Inhale, 4 to 6 count. Hold, exhale out, 8 to 12. Yes, you are enough. Most of the world is in this state, okay? Helix state. Second state that we're talking about, the psychic state, the psychics. Emotional awakening. It's an emotional awakening for them, right? They have had an emotional awakening. The psychic state begins when someone questions their patterns. When you awaken to this state and you start to question your loops, why am I going through what I'm going through over and over again? Why am I finding myself in the same situations over and over again? What am I doing wrong here? The uncovering, right? The psychic stage. You start to question your patterns. They become intuitive, empathetic, spiritually curious, all right? So in this stage, these beings become more curious about spirituality, about going deeper. They become more empathetic about themselves and around others. They become more intuitive about life, right? Discernment starts to kick in. But without grounding, this stage becomes unstable. You heard what I said. Without grounding in it, without seeing it for what it is, without real embracement of this, it becomes unstable. Let me explain. Let me keep going. Awareness turns into anxiety. Sensitivity turns into overwhelm. If you do not know how to ground yourself in this becoming, because it is very overwhelming when you start to find your gifts. If your gifts start to come flying at you all at once. Discernment is a gift. And psychic, clairvoyant abilities, these are gifts. Once you start to uncover this, it can become so overwhelming that it becomes so unstable that your whole purpose and destiny, where did it go? What happened? Because now you're stuck in this new loop, okay? Sensitivity turns into overwhelm and awareness turns into anxiety. Psychic stage. This has to be 30% of humanity, right? 30% of humanity. I'm going to actually come back in maybe a short video, and I'm going to actually break down the percentages of these states of where we at in humanity. Let me give the correct percentages, okay? So let's go into this next state, the pneumatic state, where I am, uni. Where I am as a person. I just figured this out. When I started studying the 3 levels of consciousness, I said, wow, I am in the pneumatic state, right? So here we go. The pneumatic state, self-mastery. The neuroscience connection. As I said before, modern science confirms this. The helix state is dominated by the amygdala, the fear center. The psychic state activates emotional intelligence and empathy. The pneumatic state is governed by the prefrontal cortex, awareness, self-control, and wisdom. Ancient mystics understood the brain before neuroscience did. Why most people stay stuck. Society rewards the helix state. Consume, compete, compare, distract, and it exploits the psychic state. Sensitive people are overstimulated, empaths are drained, healers are exhausted. Few are taught how to become pneumatic. And who we choose to call pneumatic is who we choose to call the prophets. How you choose to move between states. Transformation happens through self-reflection, emotional healing, meditation, which I am a big pusher of and believer of, And if you need help with meditation and starting a meditation journey, please reach out to us for a 15-minute, 30-minute consultation. sacredwalksbyuni@gmail.com, and you can find us at sacredwalksbyuni.com. Check out our links below this video. Nervous system regulation, discipline, as I said before, boundaries, conscious information intake, what you feed your brain, embodiment practices, yoga, right? And meditation, mantras. Awakening is not accidental. It's cultivated. This is something that you have to want for yourself. You have to want something new. You have to be seeking something outside of your familiar norm for this to be cultivated. The whole point of this video, sacred souls, sacred tribe, is to tell the truth that most people never hear. And that is the fact that no bloodline makes you powerful. No entity controls your destiny. Your level of consciousness does. When you choose to master yourself, you transcend manipulation, you transcend fear, and you transcend illusion. And once you understand this, you realize the greatest revolution, as I said again and again within this video, is internal. Which brings us to the real puppeteers of society. As I mentioned, social media outlets. What else did we say? Comparison culture, right? Social media, news cycles, comparison culture. This is the modern puppetry. All right, so the pneumatic state. As I was saying, the pneumatic state, baby, self-mastery state, where I am at. The pneumatic state is mastery of self. Not superiority. I am not better than anybody else. I didn't say that. Hear me out. I didn't say master of everyone else. I said master of self, okay? I had to repeat that over again because I think a lot of times people get that confused when someone says that they're in a state of mastery, that they're in a state of mastering others. And no, it has nothing to do with nobody else, but everything to do with thyself. The pneumatic state is mastery, self-mastery, not superiority, mastery. You start to observe your mind instead of obeying it. I'm in a state of observing my mind versus obeying it. I am not the body, and I am not the mind. So I am in a high 7-dimensional spiritual state. You regulate emotion. You trust your intuition and your discernment before anything else. And you maintain your peace. You have this sense of calm and all-knowing that everything will always be all right. You become sovereign. You become sovereign. You become whole. I don't need anything else. I am grateful. I am truly happy. I have the answers to life. I have the keys to the universe. I'm totally aligned with the Most High, who we choose to call God. I am a walking embodiment of it. There is nothing that I don't know. There's nothing I don't have an answer to. This is where I am. This is where I am at. And I say about 5%, 1%. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do that video on the specific percentages of these 3 levels of consciousness. But not many are here. Okay, let me explain that. Not many are here in this state of all-knowing. The Gnostics, which is what I follow, right? I am a follower of the Gnostics. These are my ancestors. who you choose to call Jesus was a Gnostic, and most prophets, right? We have this understanding of mystery, Islam, Sufism. Everything is mystery. Everything is in the unknown. Everything is the all-knowing. This is where I am. Not many are here. Not many have been here in the past as well. That's why you don't have a lot of prophets, because not many could embody this state. Science confirms this. This is scientific fact, okay? Modern neuroscience confirms this. Fear, brain, emotional brain, conscious brain. So you have your three modes of people. You have the one person who brain is fearful. You have your second being whose brain is emotional. It's an emotional state. And then you have your third brain, which is your conscious brain, who chooses to observe rather than obey. It becomes a master of it versus a slave, where most people are. Okay, so let's just jump right into this next section. All right, the puppeteers. When we talk about who is controlling this world, who are the real puppeteers? When we talk about this imaginary force, this visible force, this dark puppeteer behind the scenes, who are we talking about, bro? Like, man, I've been researching this since I was in high school. When we talk about things like the Illuminati, stay tuned, because that's the next video I'm going to speak about. I'm going to dive deep with you guys within the Illuminati, okay? Which is a part of this right here. So, the greatest controllers have always been and will continue to be fear. Anyone who projects fear, division, ignorance, because knowledge is freedom, distraction. When people are anxious and exhausted, they're easy to influence. When you have them discombobulated and their nervous systems are dysregulated and they are filled with dis-ease, which then turns into diseases, which then takes their focus off of their true self and back into the illusion of their false self, which is sickness, and then it goes into worry, because you're constantly looking for a solution, you're constantly looking for a remedy, you're constantly looking for that little pharmaceutical pill. Guys, you're just going deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. So when people are anxious and exhausted, they're easy to influence. Again, when people are anxious and exhausted, they are easy to influence. Social media, my God, that is a big influencer right now. And man, is it killing many. Social media, cut it off for 3 months to a year. News cycles, don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. There's no need to watch the news. If it's not happening in your circumference, if it's not happening in your immediate community, no need to know about it. Why influx the brain with something that is irrelevant to you helping, or it's not even a part of your circumference? Okay, do you see how that works? News cycle, cut it off. 3 months to a year. Comparison culture, keeping up with the Joneses. This is where America, this country, this is where America is. It's keeping up with the culture, comparison culture, nation and nation culture. Who you choose to call the white nation doesn't do this, and who you choose to call the black nation does this, and who you choose to call the Asian nation or the Chinese nation or the Indian nation or the oh my God, cut it out. We are one. We are civilizations, not nations. We are actually civilizations who have been broken up and divided into these things we call nations now. It's been going on. This is what has been happening. The demigods, The creators of this false world, the jinns, the other ones who walk amongst us, we just talked about this. The mixing of the bloodlines, there's no mystery to this. 3 levels of consciousness. Everything is spirit first before it manifests into something physical. So these stories, Book of Enoch, these little stories, these little metaphors, these little symbols, there's truth behind it. But you have to have an understanding of it. But it's so simple. It's so simple that humanity is a mix of, you have to be the one to choose where your loyalty and alliance stands, whether it stands with the betterment of self and humanity, or whether it stands with the the continuous decrumbling of humanity and yourself. You have to choose, right? There's that split, the great awakening, all right? Simple, no mastery, no mystery to it. No big monsters in the background, just powerful families, powerful dynasties, empires that have been roaming this earth. Banks, which runs America. Banks is ran by, banks run America. America is not run by, it's not a government that is running it. It's run by the correlation of banks. United States of America, LLC. America is a business. United States of America Corporation, LLC. This is a business. Again, I'm going to say this. It is a correlation of banks. So these are the power structures. These are the puppeteers that is running the world. It is cliques and power structures that have been doing this from the beginning of time, that took alliance and correlation to the forces of the dark arts, which is just negativity, y'all. That's all. Which you call evil, bloodshed, unnecessary bloodshed, no substance, just dark. All right, go watch my video, Good versus Evil. All right, it's all of that stuff is here. You know right from wrong. It's simple. All right, so self-work is the real revolution. That is the next part we're going to talk about. Is self-work is the real revolution. Okay, when they say that the revolution is not televised, that's facts. It's not televised because it's sacred. It's sacred. It happens within here. It happens within this holy temple. It happens within here. It's not televised. It's sacred. It's within yourself. Self-mastery breaks every single chain. As I've been mastering myself, I no longer smoke cigarettes. I no longer drink alcohol. I no longer watch porn. Have I dabbled in porn? Absolutely. And I shouldn't. And I should, because it's so many demons and so much wrong that is attached to that entire industry and institution. Again, right? We're talking about power structures, and there's a lot that goes on within that one. That is one that I was able to break, a chain that I was able to break, trauma chain for myself. So these certain type of addictions where it felt familiar, sex was familiar, cigarettes familiar, alcohol familiar. I wasn't the only one doing this. It's something that has been a part of my family. It's familiar, and I got away from it, and I'm continuing to just continuously break chains and chains. The financial game, I'm breaking it, kicking in the door with the financial literacy. You know, growing up poor, that is something, another chain that I had to break. Scarcity, mental scarcity. You have to spend $1 to make $1. You have to say yes to yourself, invest in yourself to see the external outcome that you want. So when you heal trauma, regulate emotions, think critically, build discipline, because that's what I did, you become ungovernable. I became ungovernable. You can't control me. I'm uncontrollable. And that's not in a bad way. That's a beautiful way. Meaning I can't be manipulated. You can't keep me small inside this box when there's so much truth that has to be said and so many people that need help and guidance and direction, right? So you become ungovernable, not rebellious. Those are two different things. The mystery of life isn't who runs the world. Guys, your distraction is distracting you. This whole mystery of who's running the world, the mystery of the Illuminati, the mystery of these power structured families, the Rothschild, Bilderbergs, the royal families, it's all distractions, okay? The mystery of life isn't about who runs the world. It's whether you run yourself. Let me repeat that. And I wrote this down because this was important to me for me to relate to you guys. The mystery of life isn't who runs the world, it's whether you run yourself. If this resonated with you, please comment, I choose awareness over fear. And comment. You know, I get so many people to watch my videos, and I got over 442,000 views, but where is the subscribers, guys? Where is the likes? I know you're resonating with this. But I know that you're so deep into the video that you forget to like it and you just move on. I'm going to need you to become a little bit more consciously aware of that as well. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave your comment. I choose awareness over fear. Subscribe to Sacred Walks by Uni for more teachings on consciousness and self-mastery, guys. Because again, the real revolution is not televised. It's internal. It's sacred, and it's with you and only amongst you. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. Stay tuned. The next video, we're going to go a little deeper into, we're going to talk about this Illuminati thing to kind of just get it out the way. I want you guys focused. I want you to take your focus away from this so-called mystery and start bringing it into self. See you in the next video. Stay blessed. Stay tuned. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Salams, shaloms, namaste.